Welcome to my channel Worldwise. On the morning of 3rd December 1984, the residents of Bhopal, a city in central India, woke up to something horrific. Severe coughing, burning eyes, and breathlessness. That morning, the city witnessed a scene of pure apocalypse. People were running chaotically through the streets, some coughing and vomiting, while the roads were piled with bodies lying motionless. For the past few hours, the air around them had turned into a toxic cloud, a deadly gas leaking from a nearby American pesticide plant owned by Union Carbide. This gas, Methyl Isocyanate, MIC, one of the most lethal chemicals ever produced, capable of being used in chemical warfare, had killed nearly 25,000 people in Bhopal and left over 500,000 with lifelong health complications. This wasn't just the world's worst industrial disaster. It was also a story of human negligence, cost-cutting, and incomplete justice. But the question remains, how could such a deadly gas leak out of an American company's plant so easily? Why didn't the safety systems activate on time? Why couldn't the control room staff, who had detected the leak an hour earlier, stop the disaster? And how did the gas, stored deep underground in containers, escape and spread throughout an entire city? Friends, in Bhopal, Union Carbide was producing a pesticide called Sevin, used by farmers to protect their crops from pests and boost yields. This pesticide was made from several chemicals, the most critical among them being methyl isocyanate, or MIC. When the factory started in 1969, MIC was imported from the United States. But later, Union Carbide began producing it directly in Bhopal. For this, they had installed 3 large underground tanks where MIC was stored in liquid form. At around 12:05 a.m., on the night of 3rd of December 1984, workers began noticing a strange smell, signs of a gas leak. They immediately informed the control room. The supervisors rushed toward the storage tanks, which were buried beneath a thick layer of concrete. Pipes from these tanks connected to the main factory system. Within minutes, the supervisor detected a small leak in one of the pipes. Believing it to be minor, he told the team to fix it after the tea break, and left. Small leaks were common in this factory, and workers frequently complained about breathing problems due to minor gas exposure. But soon after, the workers called again. The leak had worsened rapidly. The supervisor checked the pressure gauge, but it showed abnormal readings, something he assumed to be another malfunction. However, within moments, the needle on the gauge crossed its maximum limit. The pressure inside the tank was out of control. When the supervisor returned to the tanks, he noticed the concrete floor vibrating. Cracks had begun to appear. It was clear the pressure inside the tank had reached dangerous levels. By now, it was 12:30 a.m. An emergency was declared, and the staff began trying to neutralize the leaked gas. The factory had 3 safety systems designed for such emergencies. 1. Gas scrubber, to neutralize MIC using another chemical, but when checked, the scrubber was out of order. 2. Flare tower, to burn the gas before it reached the atmosphere. But a critical pipe from it had been removed days earlier and never replaced, rendering it non-functional. Now, the deadly gas had a free path to the atmosphere through the chimney. The staff felt helpless. By 1 a.m., the evacuation alarm was sounded. The northern winds carried the invisible toxic gas southward, directly into Bhopal's most densely populated neighborhoods. Because MIC is heavier than air, it quickly sank close to the ground and began spreading through the streets and houses. As soon as the gas entered people's homes, they experienced severe burning in their eyes and throats. Unaware of what was happening, they ran outside in panic. But the more they ran, the more they breathed in the gas. People began vomiting, coughing, and collapsing, one after another, the streets filled with bodies. Inside the factory, the supervisor tried to use the final safety measure, spraying water onto the chimney to neutralize the gas, but the hose pipe was too short to reach it. The third and final system failed too. Within minutes, the gas had spread over 8 kilometers, and Bhopal's hospitals were flooded with patients showing identical symptoms. Doctors were overwhelmed. Beds and staff were insufficient. Even the medical staff began coughing violently. They too were being poisoned. Authorities initially told doctors that the gas was ammonia, but the symptoms were far worse. The doctors had no idea what they were dealing with. They didn't know whether it was ammonia, phosgene, or MIC. In reality, methyl isocyanate reacts with moisture in the human body, sealing the lungs and making breathing impossible. By 3:00 a.m., there were so many dead bodies that they couldn't be handled anymore. In that single night alone, over 3,000 people died, and hundreds of thousands were severely affected. When the workers, safe inside the airtight control room, stepped out at dawn, they saw a transformed city. Where once there was noise and life, now there were dead animals and silence everywhere. The tragedy had already reached global headlines. In the following days, the death toll rose to 20,000, 25,000, and more than 500,000 people were exposed. It became the worst industrial disaster in human history. But how exactly did this gas leak happen? Investigations revealed that Union Carbide had 3 underground tanks, one of which, tank E610, was supposed to be filled only halfway, but it was nearly 75% full, containing 42 tons of MIC instead of 30. The real horror, even more MIC was still present in other tanks. Union Carbide had produced excessive MIC in advance, though they only needed a few tons daily to make 7. As India reeled from the tragedy, Union Carbide's CEO, Warren Anderson, flew to India. He was arrested at the airport, but instead of being jailed, he was taken to Union Carbide's guest house, and within hours, he was released on bail, then fled India, never to return. Authorities now faced another dilemma: the remaining MIC in the tanks. They needed to dispose of it carefully to prevent another disaster. The only way was to restart the damaged plant and convert the MIC into 7, an extremely risky move. When locals heard the factory would restart, mass panic spread. Thousands fled the city. Precautions were taken: wet cloths on walls, helicopters ready to spray water in case of leaks. Luckily, this time the restart was successful, and within a week, all the remaining MIC was safely processed. But people still had one question: what really caused that night's explosion? When the investigation team examined the tank, they found no cracks, but the safety valve was defective. Traces of rust and water inside indicated that water had entered the tank. MIC reacts violently with water, heating up and expanding rapidly. That evening, workers had been cleaning a nearby processing unit connected to the same pipeline. There was a stopper and a safety valve to prevent water from entering the tank. But both were faulty. Even worse, there was no nitrogen gas in the tank, which normally maintains pressure and prevents water entry. Records showed the nitrogen pressure gauge had been malfunctioning for 20 days, but no one had reported it. This was a clear case of negligence and cost-cutting. In 1984, Union Carbide had reduced its maintenance budget by nearly $1 million, leaving many gauges, valves, and safety systems unrepaired. Between 1981 and 1984, the plant had already experienced 5 gas leaks, one of which had killed a worker, yet no serious measures were taken. Every layer of protection failed. The valve, the stopper, the scrubber, the flare tower, and even the hose pipe, all due to neglect. 5 years later, the case ended in an out-of-court settlement. Union Carbide paid the Indian government $470 million. In 2010, 8 managers were convicted of negligence, but only given minor fines and short sentences. Even today, 4 decades later, the factory stands abandoned, the soil and groundwater remain toxic, and survivors continue to suffer the long-term effects of MIC exposure. We hope you found this world-wise documentary informative. Don't forget to like and share this video, and thank you for your incredible support. See you in the next powerful story.